Welcome to This Week in Tiger Athletics. I'm your host, Haley White, and joining me today is Israel Barco, a redshirt senior on the men's cross-country team. Israel won the Broncos Stampede on Saturday in Hastings, Nebraska in 26 minutes and 35.7 seconds. He helped FHSU win the team title at the meet with a perfect score, meaning Tiger runners finished 1st through 5th. Barco won individual title by 0.2 of a second ahead of teammate Justin Moore. First off, congratulations on a solid run on Saturday in Hastings. How nice was it to have a first official meet after that alumni run?
It was definitely a good time. You know, you put in all that training over the summer, and it's just nice to finally let it show a little bit and keep going with the season.
So talk a little bit about that race on Saturday. Was that 8K course challenging?
It was a little bit. The grass was really tall for a cross-country course. So that kind of like made you control yourself throughout the race, keep a good consistent effort, and it was a decent race.
And you were able to hold off teammate Justin Moore for the win by a very slim margin. Was it a good battle between the two of you?
Yeah. Towards the end of the race, we were just talking about finishing together, and it was just who won there at the end. Not really super competitive.
And perhaps the most impressive thing about Saturday's meet is what you guys accomplished as a team, winning the team title with a perfect score. Did you ever imagine something like that would happen to you and the team at the college level?
At that meet, yeah. It wasn't a super competitive meet, so it was just more of a workout for us.
What was the mindset before the race?
We wanted to go out at a consistent effort and work our way up through the race. I don't think we were in the lead as a team until like 3 miles into the race, so we had to really work together and keep a good consistent effort.
Was there a point in the race where you were just surrounded by your teammates and thought the team had a solid run going?
Yeah, for the majority of the race there was like 6, 7, 8 of us, and then we finally kind of broke up a little bit towards the latter parts of the race.
The team swept the top 5 spots, but also placed in the 7 in the top 9. What does that say about the team this season?
We're really strong this year, honestly. We all have a good mindset about working together and keeping our eyes on the bigger picture at the end of the season, which that's where we want to be at our best. So right now we're just training through everything. And
yourself, Moore, Reed Rome, and Robbie Schmidt were all within a second of each other at that finish line. Talk about how important that depth and consistency is within your team going on this season.
That's definitely huge, because once we get to the conference and regional meets, every single place matters. So we need all of our guys to perform their best, and then everything will just take care of itself at that point.
What are some personal goals that you've set for this season for yourself?
I'd like to break 30 minutes and 45 seconds in our 10K, and then place top 10 at our regional meet.
What about some team goals?
We want to qualify for nationals. We've been consistent at conference, but we want to take it to that next level.
In addition to being a solid runner on the course and in track, you're also you're a standout in the classroom as well, with multiple academic All-American honors. How important is it for you to excel in the classroom as well as on the course and field?
That's huge, because this is just a short time of our life with the running, and you need to have a good education to do something for your later years. So that's just super important.
And you had an exceptional high school career at Elkhart, finishing 2nd at state in 2A as a senior. What did it mean to you to get an opportunity to come here to FHSU and race?
That was huge, because Coach McCullough was one of the few that truly believed in me coming out of high school, because I didn't have a whole lot of training in high school, and he just saw a lot of potential in me. I'm super grateful for it.
So with this being your final collegiate season here at FHSU, what are your plans after graduation?
I'd like to go to pharmacy school. Right now I'm looking at UMKC as my first option, but if not, then I'll look elsewhere.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
And when we return from this break, we'll break down the rest of This Week in Athletics.
He often climbs to the 3rd floor of Rarick without taking a second breath. No matter when he submits his assignment to Blackboard, it is considered early, even if it is 5 days late. The line at Starbucks parts when he arrives. He considers the homecoming bonfire a small flame for s'mores. Every time he walks downtown, it's considered a march to Maine. His doodles on scrap paper are framed and hung in Rearing Hall. Once he parked in a 30-minute zone overnight, and the campus police left him a thank you note and a gift card.
I don't always party, but when I do, I register with SGA. Now party responsibly, my friends.
Welcome back. Joining me now is FHSU SID Ryan Prickett, and he's going to help me break down the rest of this week in athletics. So unfortunately, Fort Hays football suffered a 28-17 loss to Missouri Western during its home opener.
Yeah, I saw our home opener streak get snapped finally, or I'm sorry, not home opener, but our home win streak in regular season games get snapped. We hadn't lost a home regular season game since they're late in the 2016 season. Yeah, it was a rough night for us. Not sure if Missouri Western just has our number right now. You know, we struggled at their place last year too. I don't know if it's just what we run against what they run isn't working, or, you know, maybe it was just an off night for the offense too. I think, you know, just kind of watching how the course of the game went. Some of our receivers dropped some balls. Chance was overthrowing a few guys here and there. You know, it just, nothing seemed to be gelling quite right on offense, especially after the first quarter. I think once Missouri Western's defense kind of settled in, it was unfortunate that we didn't get more points on the board early in the game. I think we had our chances to maybe get a couple of touchdowns early. One resulted in a field goal, and then we missed a field goal, which, I mean, it was up decent length though. But yeah, it just things just all of a sudden kind of shifted Missouri Western's way, and we just never seized the momentum back. And so now we're sitting here looking at 0-2, and you know, if you're going to try to make the NCAA playoffs, I mean, it's probably going to have to be win all the way out to make that happen. So the guys do have a tough road ahead of them, but you know, they've been in this position before, really. I mean, last year their second loss came, I think it was the 6th game of the season, but it's earlier this year. But that's a team that definitely has the capability of winning 9 in a row. It's just a matter of them getting everything to gel right, and you know, hopefully things will be successful going forward. But it starts this week, and hopefully we can get over another hump that we've had a problem with, is winning at Washburn. That seems to be something that ever since Chris came over from Washburn, where he was an assistant coach before he took over the head coach job here. It's been a tough place for us to get a win for whatever reason. So we've done just fine against them out here, but for whatever reason, you know, Yeager Stadium is just one of our places right now that we got to get that bad taste behind us with all those games that we've lost there in recent years. So anyway, hopefully we'll get the thing going on the right track this week, and get the train rolling down the tracks, and maybe we'll be looking at good things later in the year. But it all starts this week. So.
And how the regular season schedule panned out this season is they're home every other week.
Yes.
And like you mentioned, they head to Washburn Saturday for a 1 p.m. kickoff.
Yes.
So women's soccer, they were able to shut out CSU Pueblo 1-0 during their home opener. So they moved 2-1 on the season. Yeah,
another good result for the women's soccer team. Another good defensive effort. Obviously, that's their second shutout in a row. Both have been by 1-0 decisions. I wasn't at the match the other night. I was actually helping with the volleyballs tournament going on here. But my guys said that you know, it was just kind of a little bit of a battle for a while. Both teams were feeling each other out. Some shots were getting on goal and things like that early on. but we finally broke through with an opportunity late. Looking at the replay of the goal scored by Jordan Thompson, she made a nice move on a defender. A defender was trying to track the ball down in the defensive end, and she was able to get it away from the defender, and then had nothing but one-on-one against the goalkeeper from there on out. Made a nifty move to get around her, and she basically all she had to do is tap it in the net from there on out. So good result for the women. You know, if our defense continues to do that every match, they're going to have a good chance at, you know, having some postseason opportunities at the end of the year with this 2-1 start, because we know the match we lost was to a team that made the NCAA regional last year. So hopefully good things to come there.
And they'll have a week off before they're back on the road for a 3 p.m. matchup against Emporia State on the 20th.
Yes, and that match too, with these first 3 that we play against MIAA teams, you'll see MIAA schools on the schedule, but these first 3 are within what they call our pod for women's soccer, and they're actually non-conference matches, but we'll actually start conference play after we play, I think it's Emporia, Washburn, and Kearney. We play non-conference matches against them, and then we'll catch them again in conference play too. So.
Unfortunately, the men were shut out by Maryville University and Regis, both 0-3 games.
Yeah, and it's kind of hard to solve what's going on with the men's soccer team right now. Obviously, the expectations were big coming out of the gate with you know, making the national semifinals last year, and I think some people are kind of scratching their heads right now, like, what, you know, why a 1-3 start? We haven't been able to put the ball in the net for 3 matches in a row now. It's kind of frustrating, I'm sure, for the guys, but I know we have the talent out there to get on a run and do some things and have a chance at the end of the year to do some bigger things. We know that the competition coming in front of us, it's a good schedule for us coming ahead. It's just a matter of figuring out, you know, what's going wrong right now and fixing those problems. And you know, I wouldn't hit the panic button quite yet on that, because if we look 2 years ago, in 2017, that squad got out to an 0-4-2 start, and I think everybody was puzzled on that year too. But then over their next 12, they reeled off 11 wins out of their next 12 and made the NCAA tournament. Unfortunately got beaten the first game that they played in that NCAA tournament, but they still made it there. So it's one of those things where if they can right the ship here in the coming weeks, I think they'll be just fine by the time the end of the year rolls around. But we've seen this before with us having a little bit of a slow start in men's soccer and then finishing strong. So hopefully that's going to be the case again this year. And
they'll have a chance to get back on track against Northeastern State on Thursday at 4.
Yes, they're big time rival. You know, that's been our big rival in the MIAA for years. Obviously, that was our regional final match out here in the NCAA tournament last year. So it's always a fun one when those 2 squads get together.
Volleyball split the 2 matches on Friday and Saturday during the Tiger Classic, losing to Chadron State in 3, beating Southern Arkansas in 3 on Friday, and then losing to Western Colorado in 3, followed by a win over Northwestern Oklahoma State to wrap up the tournament on Saturday. Yeah,
I think being there at the tournament all weekend, I'm starting to see some growth, I think, within the squad with the young kids. I think looking at that last week, we have a lot of young people out on the floor yet, and they're learning the speed of the college game and learning what this competition level is like. But I saw some really good things over the weekend, especially in that last match against Northwestern Oklahoma. The energy was good. Northwestern Oklahoma had actually won all 3 of their matches at the tournament up to that point. They have an above 500 record, and our ladies really stepped up to the challenge, and they played really well in that match. Delaney Hum, who's a true freshman for us, put down 22 kills in that last match and had a big week. She had over 4 kills per set for the week. Played really strong, putting down some balls really hard. So Tatum Bartels had another great week there in the middle, and just things are starting to look like they're gelling a little bit better together now. I think after a week they kind of had to figure out what they are with a lot of new people on the floor. But it's go time now, because here we go in MIAA play, and we know how tough the MIAA is, and so it's going to be a tough road ahead. But that was a good sign, seeing how they did this weekend, as we go forward into the tough MIAA schedule.
And the women will see Washburn Friday at 6 p.m.
National Elite Eight appearance from those guys last year. They were when our men's soccer team was at the festival there in Pittsburgh. Washburn's volleyball team was there for the volleyball championships as well. So they're definitely a very good squad. Have been for years under Chris Herron, and that's going to be a really tough test right out of the gate in MIAA play. So.
And lastly for this week, tennis goes 1-3 on the weekend, falling to MSU Denver and Colorado Mesa, followed by a win over CSU Pueblo.
Yeah, good win there at the end of the week. Leaves a good taste in your mouth. Obviously, we lost a couple of matches there. We were actually playing down a player on the second day. I don't know. I haven't been able to talk to Coach Flax. Maybe there was illness, maybe a little minor injury or something like that. But in the fall, they don't want to press the issue too bad because the spring schedule is a little more thick and probably the more important part of the schedule. So, but that was good for them to continue their win streak over Pueblo. That's been a team they kind of go out there and play every year. Pueblo hosts that little tournament and they get some competition against RMAC schools every year out there. And so that was a good sign to see us bounce back after those two losses and still manage to beat CSU Pueblo even down a player too. The 1 point we surrendered to them was a forfeit. So we literally swept the matches. So that was a good showing for the ladies there to close out the weekend.
And they will be able to compete in front of a home crowd tomorrow against Sterling.
Yeah, that's going to be another match where, you know, we defeated Hastings College. Hopefully Sterling's another one of those where the ladies can build some confidence. We do have some youth out there right now, a couple of them that are true freshmen that are playing for us. You know, that's another match where hopefully it will be a good result for our ladies, get the record above 500, and continue to finish out their fall schedule strong so they have some confidence rolling into the spring.
Well, thanks for joining me today, Ryan.
No problem.
That concludes this episode. Tune in next week for another episode of This Week in Tiger Athletics. And as always, to stay up to date on the latest news and information throughout the week, visit tigermedianet.com.